Well, we have no plans or intentions to create our own currency. We just want to facilitate trade with existing currencies. The last thing in the world I want to do is become a bank, because TARP is not something I'd like. You know, when you think about the next 10 years, I would think about mobile. You're going to watch the developing world come into the e-commerce world in ways that are different than the developed world has. Mobile commerce, mobile payments. We introduced an iPhone application 11 months ago, and it will do $500 million of volume this year. $500 million on an application that didn't exist 12 months ago, on a device that didn't exist 27 months ago. And the iPhone is opening up what's possible off a smartphone, and it's going to blur the lines between online and offline. So the lines between e-commerce and offline retail are blurring. Let me give you an example of an application, and this could be the kind of thing that you're going to hear about. Does anyone have an iPhone? Yeah, I'll just describe it. There's an application that a third-party developer, an entrepreneur, has developed called Shop Savvy. And with this, you can walk into, there's probably a Best Buy electronics store around here. You can walk in and say you're looking for the netbook. You take the little camera and you scan the little barcode, and it immediately pops up that computer and the best prices online and offline in the stores around here, because this has a GPS device in it. So you'd be able to see, oh, here's the price on eBay, Amazon, Walmart.com, BestBuy.com, and here's the prices of used ones in local classified sites within 2 miles of here. A 4-person company created that application. Oh, and by the way, if you click through and you want to buy it online, you can just press one click with PayPal and buy it. Here's the point. Is that an online transaction or an offline transaction? You're in an online store, and you may say, you know what, I can get it. It's as cheap in the store as it is online. I'll buy it online. I'll buy it here in the store. Or you may say, no, I'm going to buy it online because I want it shipped home because it's a little cheaper. Or you're going to be able to be sitting at home, look on this device, or walking down the street, and in a year's time, in certain markets, you'll be able to see what inventory or what prices are in stores within a certain geography from you on this device, because it's got a GPS device in it. Is that an online transaction or offline transaction? Is that e-commerce or is that retail? So those lines are going to blur over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years, and you're going to hear a lot of that will create some opportunity for some and discomfort for others. So I would put mobile devices, and by the way, in the developing world, it won't be with smartphones. It will be more with regular cell phones texting money, and that will create a currency, I believe, that will help bring them into the internet world. So I think you've got great opportunities and challenges. We have no desire to create an eBay currency. That I can promise you. Well, time maybe for one more question, and then.
Hello. Antonio from...
Thank you.
Antonio from Southwestern University of Finance Economics, located in Chengdu, China. The business model that eBay innovated have empowered tens of millions of Chinese people to achieve their dreams. Selling or buying something from the internet. So I'm very interested in eBay's strategy in China. If it is not secret, can you discuss a little bit? Because eBay actually in China, not the number one in China. So can you discuss a little bit of your strategy in China?
I have the top secret strategy in here. And in addition to free Skype pricing, I'm willing to unveil our secret strategy in China. Look, here's what's fascinating about China, and this is again a symptom of the internet. The non-Chinese global internet companies have not succeeded in China. Google's not #1 in search. A company called Baidu is. eBay's not #1 in e-commerce. A company called Taobao is. eBay's not #1 in online payments with PayPal. A company called Alipay is. Facebook is not the #1 IM platform social networking site. There's something called QQ that's owned by a company called Tencent. Each one of these was started by a Chinese entrepreneur. A Chinese entrepreneur that understood the unique characteristics of the Chinese market, that understood what was possible, what was not, that could work with the Chinese government. Our experience was we were at a disadvantage in China. We came in, we were at a disadvantage in 2 ways. One, we didn't think Chinese enough, so we bought a local Chinese company, but it still wasn't enough. We were frankly outcompeted by Jack Ma, who started Taobao, Alibaba, and Alipay. And then the second thing we found is, you know, our servers ran a little slower than the Chinese competitors. And so what we decided to do is to say, we think it's still a young time in the Chinese internet economy, and we're patient. And so we're going to use joint venture for the next 5 years as that market develops, and we're partnering with local Chinese companies in both eBay and PayPal. And then at that time, we hope to play a more active presence. I will tell you, though, where we have a booming business in China. There are hundreds of thousands of Chinese entrepreneurs that sell all over the world through eBay and get paid through PayPal. Some of the most remarkable stories you've seen, where they manufacture things and sell things that give lower prices to consumers around the world. Think about, and for those in this country, it's consumer-to-consumer Walmart. Instead of Walmart going to China and getting something really cheaply and sticking it in a big box here, a Chinese seller gets those same goods and sells it directly to a French consumer, to an Australian consumer, to a Brazilian consumer, to a Canadian consumer on eBay. And it's a real inspiration to see the entrepreneurialism in China and see China come into the global economy in such a powerful way. So we have high hopes for China.
Could you be a little bit more clear on specifically what it was in the guidelines, or are you just saying those sorts of things? Thank you.
Here's my understanding of what some of the principles that those of you that were here 10 years ago set out. Transparency, that with a few exceptions, and China's getting better at that, being one of the exceptions, that we're not going to try to regulate transparency on the internet. And as a result, a student in rural India, if they can get access to broadband, can have access to the exact same information to someone that's sitting at Oxford. Access. That governments, wherever possible, we're going to promote access to the internet and to computers initially, to broadband over time, and to the internet. And that's a deep commitment because that's a good thing for economic growth and job creation. Harmonization. This may have been the most important principle that you all set out, but just the basic harmonization and a commitment to move in that direction is what facilitates cross-border trade and, again, creates jobs and opportunity and lower prices for consumers. And then Todd described this to me, light touch regulation. There may be, you know, we can't have criminals online. We can't have fraudulent activities or bad things, but using light touch regulation rather than heavy touch regulation to try to deal with that. So I think if this body were to stay true to those 4 principles as you think about the next 5 to 10 years, and I'm sure I'm not doing the guidelines justice, but as I will tell you, those principles have created a very robust e-commerce world and will continue to be, should continue to be the sort of guiding principles, I believe, as we confront the next 5 to 10 years. So anyway, thank you very much. I've enjoyed being with you, and good luck in your deliberations the next couple of days.